You died on a Saturday morning. I had you placed here under our tree. And I had that house of your father bulldozed to the ground.
Forrest Gump is a cherished film that has won over millions with its distinctive story and unforgettable characters. Although it's widely known, there are some surprising facts and key details that might shock even the biggest fans. You may have overlooked several mistakes, including how Jenny's troubled childhood influenced the events later in the movie. So, what really happened to Jenny? Get ready to uncover surprising facts about Forrest Gump and discover the truth behind Jenny's fate. Stay tuned. The 1994 American comedy drama Forrest Gump is based on the 1986 novel of the same name. It tells the story of Forrest Gump, a man from Alabama, and his remarkable journey through key moments in 20th century America. While many viewers know the film well, even those who've seen it countless times might be surprised by some fascinating facts, including unforgettable historical events featuring famous personalities. Let's take a quick look at some details and hidden gems you may have missed. Mistakes in the timeline. The movie Forrest Gump was a massive success and remains beloved by many, but it contains some interesting errors and historical inconsistencies that many viewers might have missed. One of the most notable issues involves inaccuracies with the timeline and props used in certain scenes. For example, during the 1972 New Year's Eve celebration, Forrest is shown drinking a Dr. Pepper. Yet the logo displayed on the can wasn't created until the mid-1980s, over a decade later. Another slip-up occurs in a shrimp-catching scene set in the mid-1970s where Forrest and Lieutenant Dan catch a can of Mellow Yellow, a soda that didn't launch until 1979, making the scene historically inaccurate. One particularly puzzling detail revolves around Jenny's death. In the film, Jenny shows Forrest a clipping from USA Today, a newspaper first published in September 1982. However, Jenny's grave states she died on March 22, 1982, 6 months before the newspaper even existed. This timeline mismatch leaves viewers wondering about the actual sequence of events. The Vietnam War scenes also offer some surprising insights. Rather than filming in Vietnam, this production team used locations in South Carolina, specifically Fripp Island and Hunting Island State Park, to simulate the jungle setting. The authenticity was so convincing that many viewers believed they were watching footage from Vietnam itself. Some parts of the Vietnam scenes were cut from the final film because they were considered in poor taste or too complex to properly explore topics like racial inequality. For instance, scenes showing Forrest meeting historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr. were edited out along with other moments. One deleted scene, available on the collector's edition DVD, depicts police releasing German shepherds on Martin Luther King Jr. and his supporters during a protest. Forrest cleverly distracts one of the dogs with a game of fetch, adding a tense but memorable moment. Another, omitted segment shows Forrest meeting activist Abby Hoffman, who invites him to speak at an anti-war rally. However, in the film, the crowd can't hear Forrest's speech because his microphone is accidentally turned off, highlighting an ironic yet poignant moment of missed communication. These errors and deleted scenes enrich the story behind Forrest Gump, revealing complexities beyond the original theatrical release and giving fans more to explore about the film's production and historical context. A few people may have noticed these mistakes, but there are facts about Forrest Gump that might surprise you. What do you consider these facts to be? Tom Hankss. Tom Hanks's accent in Forrest Gump stands as one of the most iconic and frequently imitated voices in film history. Despite its widespread recognition, many people remain unaware of the fascinating story behind how he developed that distinct Southern drawl. Forrest Gump's accent is arguably one of the character's most defining traits, helping to shape the personality that has charmed audiences since the film's release in 1994. Interestingly, the process of capturing the young Forrest's voice was far from simple. The character as a child was played by Michael Connor, who naturally spoke with an accent that took Tom Hanks quite some time to learn and perfect. Hanks wasn't simply mimicking a generic Southern accent. He was deeply invested in capturing the specific nuances of Michael Connor's Mississippi-inflected speech. The actor spent long hours working with Connor, absorbing the rhythms and cadences to bring authenticity to the role. This dedication to detail paid off, as Michael Connor's performance earned him a Young Artist Award years after the film's release, highlighting the lasting impact of their collaboration. Before Tom Hanks became synonymous with Forrest Gump, the role had a different potential star in mind. Director Robert Zemeckis originally wanted John Travolta to portray Forrest. However, Travolta chose to pass on the role in favor of starring in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, a decision that earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Had Travolta taken the part, it would have been intriguing to see how his interpretation of Forrest might have differed from Hanks's now classic portrayal. Other actors like Billy Murray and Chevy Chase were also considered for the role before Hanks ultimately secured it, a choice that proved pivotal in the film's success. One remarkable fact about Tom Hanks's dedication to the role is that he never let illness slow him down during filming. While shooting the intense football running scene, Hanks was suffering from the flu but refused to take time off. Due to tight scheduling and production demands, he pushed through and completed the scene despite feeling unwell, demonstrating the professional commitment that helped make the film so memorable. Another lesser-known tidbit involves Tom Hanks's brother, Jim Hankss, who looks strikingly similar to him. Jim has often stepped in for Tom, particularly providing voiceover work for the character Woody in Toy Story merchandise and related projects. Beyond voice work, Jim also filled in for some of the more physically demanding running scenes in Forrest Gump, showcasing a brotherly collaboration behind the scenes that most viewers never noticed. Tom Hanks's portrayal of Forrest Gump was a career-defining moment. While he was already a familiar name in Hollywood, this role catapulted him into a new realm of dramatic acting and opened doors to many more iconic parts, including beloved roles in films like Toy Story. His nuanced performance as Forrest, blending innocence, determination, and a unique charm, remains a benchmark for actors even decades later. An amusing detail fans might have missed is that Forrest's eyes are closed in every photo of him, shown throughout the movie. This quirky trait was a deliberate choice by Tom Hanks and the filmmakers, intended to emphasize Forrest's peculiar yet endearing personality. It symbolized Forrest's preoccupation with fitting in and being normal despite his differences, adding a subtle layer of depth to the character. Tom Hanks's journey to embodying Forrest Gump is full of surprising and inspiring stories, from vocal preparation to physical challenges on set, to family collaborations. His dedication and creative decisions helped craft a character that has remained unforgettable in cinematic history. And just when you think you've heard it all, there's always another fascinating fact about Tom. Hankss and his iconic role waiting to be discovered. The ping-pong trick. In the movie, Forrest played ping-pong for the U.S. team. This scene is intriguing because Hank had no prior experience playing the game. You probably didn't realize that this was just one of the many tricks in the movie. The scene employed computers to simulate the back and forth hitting of the ball. In reality, Hank and his opponent were just hitting the air, while the computers created the rest. Like the rest of the movie, the ping-pong scene has historical significance, as ping-pong diplomacy was really a part of former President Nixon's plan to ease tensions in China. Here's another interesting fact about ping-pong. Another soldier told Forrest to always keep his eyes on the ball when he first learned how to play the game in the hospital. Since that moment, Forrest never blinks when playing ping-pong. Did you spot anyone familiar with the bus scene? Young Forrest encounters hostility when he boards a bus for the first time in a scene from the Forrest Gump movie. Tom Hanks's daughter Elizabeth and the director's son Alexander were among the children on the bus who made fun of little Forrest and did not let him sit with them. The ping-pong trick seemed cool, right? But it's not the only trick in the film. Get ready for more. Lieutenant Dan's legs. Lieutenant Dan, a key character in Forrest Gump, lost both his legs during the Vietnam War. His story is marked by frustration and despair, as he initially hoped to die in battle rather than survive as an amputee. To realistically portray Lieutenant Dan's amputations on screen, actor Gary Sinise wore blue fabric stockings during filming. These stockings acted as a visual aid, allowing the special effects team to digitally remove his legs in post-production through chroma key technology. To further enhance the illusion, Sinise used a specially designed wheelchair with a slanted seat. This clever design allowed him to fold his legs underneath, keeping them hidden from the camera's view. The combination of physical techniques and digital effects made the portrayal of Lieutenant Dan's disability both convincing and respectful. Gary Sinise's experience playing Lieutenant Dan deeply impacted him beyond the movie. Inspired by the role, he founded the Gary Sinise Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting veterans, especially those with disabilities. The foundation works to improve the lives of service members and their families, reflecting Sinise's ongoing commitment to the veteran community. An interesting fact about Lieutenant Dan is that the character was originally meant to be an antagonist in the source material. However, the filmmakers chose to reshape him into a more sympathetic and complex figure. Instead of a simple villain, Lieutenant Dan became a character who experiences significant personal growth and transformation throughout the story. This evolution added emotional depth to the film and made his journey resonate with audiences. Through innovative filmmaking techniques and thoughtful character development, Lieutenant Dan became one of the most memorable and meaningful figures in Forrest Gump. His story not only highlights the struggles faced by wounded veterans, but also symbolizes resilience and hope. Lieutenant Dan's life on and off screen is not the only fascinating story. Wait till you hear about Robin Wright, who portrayed the character Jenny. Robin Wright. Robin Wright's portrayal of Jenny in Forrest Gump stands out as one of the film's most compelling and memorable elements. Jenny's character is deeply complex and evokes a powerful emotional response from viewers, making her one of the most beloved figures in the story. Throughout the movie, audiences are drawn to Jenny's tragic and turbulent life, which adds a rich layer of depth to the overall narrative. Jenny's backstory is heartbreaking and filled with trauma. She lost her mother at the tender age of 5, an event that marked the beginning of a difficult childhood. To make matters worse, Jenny and her sisters endured horrific abuse at the hands of their father, suffering both physical and sexual violence. This grim reality shaped Jenny's early years and left deep scars that influenced her choices and relationships throughout her life. Her difficult upbringing helps explain the pain and confusion she carries, which manifests in her troubled relationship with Forrest Gump and her personal struggles. As a way to cope with the trauma and pain, Jenny turned to hard, harmful substances, eventually falling into addiction. This aspect of her character portrays the harsh reality of many who face similar challenges in life, highlighting how trauma can lead to destructive coping mechanisms. The film's exploration of Jenny's troubled past and her battle with addiction provides critical context for her erratic behavior and complicated emotional state. For actress Wright, playing Jenny was both a challenge and a breakthrough. The role demanded a nuanced performance that balanced vulnerability, pain, and strength. Wright's portrayal resonated with audiences worldwide, earning her widespread acclaim and opening many doors in her career. Notably, her work as Jenny garnered her a Golden Globe Award nomination, cementing her status as a talented and respected actress. One unforgettable scene that illustrates Jenny's struggles is her nightclub performance. Despite being seriously ill during the shoot, which lasted an exhausting 24 hours, Wright pushed through to deliver the scene. The performance was meant to show Jenny's attempt to find her place in the world, but it also revealed the harsh realities she faced. Instead of receiving support or admiration, Jenny was taunted and humiliated by the men in the audience. This moment of vulnerability is powerful, emphasizing the pain and rejection Jenny endures. In a touching response to Jenny's humiliation, Forrest Gump steps in to defend her, showing his unwavering loyalty and love. This act not only strengthens their bond, but also highlights Forrest's enduring kindness and courage. It's a poignant reminder of the support and compassion Jenny finds in Forrest, despite the many obstacles in her life. Overall, Wright's portrayal of Jenny adds emotional depth and realism to Forrest Gump, making her story one of the film's most impactful and enduring elements. Through Jenny, the movie addresses themes of trauma, addiction, resilience, and unconditional love, leaving a lasting impression on audiences everywhere. Ice Cube as Bubba and the bus ride. Did Ice Cube play Bubba in Forrest Gump? There have been persistent rumors that both Ice Cube and Dave Chappelle were offered the role of Bubba, Forrest Gump's close friend and fellow soldier, but turned it down. According to some reports, Ice Cube declined the role because he felt the character was dumb. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle also reportedly passed on the opportunity, though his reasons remain unclear. After both Ice Cube and Chappelle said no, the role eventually went to Mykelti Williamson, who brought Bubba to life with remarkable authenticity. As Forrest Gump soared to massive success, Both Ice Cube and Chappelle expressed some regret over turning down the part, realizing what a major opportunity they had missed. Still, it's important to note that despite missing out on Bubba, both Ice Cube and Dave Chappelle have gone on to build incredibly successful careers in music, comedy, and acting. One fascinating detail about Mykelti Williamson's portrayal of Bubba lies in his distinctive lips. Many viewers were amazed by how full and prominent they looked in the film, often wondering if they were natural or enhanced. In fact, the effect was achieved with a prosthetic lip device, specifically created for the role, adding to Bubba's unique appearance and making the character even more memorable. While Williamson's performance was widely praised, playing Bubba had an unintended downside for his career. The entertainment industry often typecast him based on this role, struggling to see beyond the character of Bubba. Many casting directors had difficulty separating Williamson's real identity from the character he portrayed so convincingly. This association with Bubba, unfortunately, limited some of his opportunities in Hollywood. Despite this, Mykelti Williamson's work in Forrest Gump remains iconic and a defining moment in his acting journey. His ability to bring Bubba's warmth, humor, and loyalty to the screen helped create one of the film's most beloved supporting characters. The story of how he landed the role after others passed on it, and the impact it had on his career, offers a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of Hollywood casting and the lasting impressions a single role can leave on an actor's professional life. In summary, although Ice Cube and Dave Chappelle were rumored to have turned down the chance to play Bubba, Mykelti Williamson's memorable performance secured the character's place in cinema history. His use of a prosthetic lip device to enhance the role added authenticity and depth, even if it led to some typecasting challenges. Ultimately, Bubba's character remains one of the most endearing aspects of Forrest Gump, thanks to Williamson's talent and dedication. These are surprising details, but what do you think of Sally Field, who played Forrest Gump's mother in the film? Sally Field. Many people fondly remember Sally Field as the devoted mother of Forrest Gump, but what's surprising is that at the time of filming, she was only about 10 years older than Tom Hanks, who played Forrest. Despite this relatively small age gap, Sally Field convincingly portrayed a nurturing, wise mother who always offered heartfelt advice to her son. The transformation was so effective that the truth behind their ages seems almost unbelievable. Sally's portrayal of Mrs. Gump was enhanced significantly by the use of a gray wig and expertly applied makeup, which aged her appearance convincingly for the role. These subtle yet powerful effects helped audiences fully buy into the mother-son relationship on screen, despite the actors' close ages. An interesting tidbit is that just a few years prior to Forrest Gump, Sally Field and Tom Hanks had starred together in the 1988 film Punchline. In that movie, Sally played the love interest of Tom Hanks's character, which makes their dynamic in Forrest Gump all the more fascinating. One can only imagine what Sally thought when she received the call to reunite with Tom Hanks, not as his romantic partner this time, but as his mother. It's a testament to the art of casting and acting that audiences could so easily accept this drastic role reversal without question. The choice to cast Sally Field as Forrest's mother, despite the narrow age difference, is a great example of how filmmakers use makeup, styling, and strong performances to create believable family relationships on screen, regardless of actual ages. This casting decision added emotional depth to the film as Sally's warm and caring portrayal made Mrs. Gump a beloved character in her own right. Beyond this surprising fact about their ages, Forrest Gump is filled with many other intriguing details and behind-the-scenes stories that continue to captivate fans. From subtle production, choices to interesting casting decisions, the film's making is as rich and layered as the story it tells. So, while many remember Sally Field simply as Forrest's mother, the reality of her close age to Tom Hanks and their prior work together adds an extra layer of interest to her role. It's a fascinating glimpse into the magic of movie making, how a small team of artists and actors can craft a believable world that pulls audiences in, even when the facts behind the scenes might seem surprising. There's so much more to uncover about Forrest Gump, and these fascinating details only add to the film's enduring legacy. Keep watching to discover more shocking and surprising facts about this beloved classic, Forrest's Checkered Shirt. Throughout Forrest Gump, we watch Forrest grow up right before our eyes, first as a child, then as a teenager, and finally as an adult. Through all these stages of his life, one thing remains constant: his favorite checkered shirt. Forrest wears this iconic shirt during every major age transition, making it a subtle but powerful visual thread throughout the film. Many viewers might have noticed Forrest's consistent choice of clothing, but the deeper meaning behind the shirt often goes unspoken. This checkered shirt becomes a symbol of Forrest's steady nature and loyalty. He sticks with what feels right and comfortable, no matter how much his life changes. It represents a sense of reliability and continuity amid the many ups and downs Forrest experiences. What makes this detail even more touching is that Forrest's son, Forrest Jr., also wears a blue, checkered shirt, echoing his father's signature style. This subtle connection between father and son visually emphasizes their bond and hints at the way certain traits and values can pass from one generation to the next. So, while Forrest's checkered shirt might seem like just a simple costume choice, it carries a meaningful role in telling his story. It quietly highlights his grounded personality and adds a layer of depth to the character's journey. You may have noticed the shirt throughout the film, but trust us, there's a lot more fascinating trivia ahead that will surprise you even more. The death of Jenny. Due to the tragic end of her story, many fans wondered what Jenny died from. Everyone knows that Jenny died on the show, but there has been some speculation and confusion about the cause of her death. The confusion surrounding these questions stems from the fact that the movie only provides clues about Jenny's death without providing details about her life in the book. Although the cause of her death remained unclear, many speculated that it was AIDS, primarily, because she passed during the height of the American AIDS crisis. In the movie, she died of an unnamed ailment. Although the movie centers on Forrest's life accomplishments, the story is, well, grounded by his unconditional love for Jenny, despite how awful she treated him. After much speculation, the movie director finally revealed what Jenny actually died from. He asserted that Jenny succumbed to hepatitis C in 1989, mirroring the Winston Groom novel. However, some viewers disputed this, arguing that she succumbed to AIDS as evidenced by her possession of an IV medicine. However, the movie didn't explicitly state the cause of her death. In an interview, screenwriter Eric Roth confirms that Jenny truly died from AIDS, just like viewers speculated from the onset. After that came the big question: how come her son and Forrest Gump didn't get it as well? She contracted it after giving birth to her son, which automatically cleared the air and put the theory to rest. Haley Joel's debut. Do you remember Haley Joel Osment, the child actor who captured hearts in the 1990s? 90s? With his adorable face and natural talent, Haley quickly became one of the most beloved young actors of his time, starring in a variety of dramas and thrillers. One of his early roles was in the iconic film Forrest Gump, where he was cast at just 6 years old. In the movie, Haley played Forrest Gump's son, Forrest Jr., sharing the screen with Tom Hankss, who portrayed his father. Looking back on his experience working alongside Tom Hankss, Haley has fond memories. He once described Hankss as a great first cinema dad, highlighting the warmth and support he received during the filming. Their on-screen relationship added a heartfelt layer to the story, showcasing the bond between father and son that resonated deeply with audiences. After Forrest Gump, Haley Joel Osment continued to build an impressive acting career. He starred in several high-profile movies, including the critically acclaimed The Sixth Sense, which truly cemented his status as a talented young actor. Beyond his early success, Haley pursued his passion for the craft academically, graduating from the prestigious Tisch School of the Arts, a move that reflected his dedication to honing his skills and growing as an artist. While Haley's journey in Forrest Gump is well remembered, it's interesting to note that the film itself overlooked some characters who could have added more depth to the story. Although the movie is rich with memorable faces and powerful performances, there were several roles and backstories that didn't make it to the final cut, leaving fans curious about what might have been. Haley's role as Forrest Jr. remains a touching part of the film's legacy, and his own career is a testament to how early experiences on beloved films can shape and inspire young actors. As an audiences, it's always fascinating to learn about the actors behind the characters and the untold stories that surround the making of such timeless movies. Kurt Russell's uncredited role. You thought Elvis's voice in Forrest Gump sounded like Elvis Presley himself, right? Kurt Russell recorded an impressive role in the film. Throughout the course of the movie, our title, character Forrest Gump, makes connections with some of the famous people of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, including President Richard Nixon, President John F. Kennedy, John Lennon, and, during his childhood, a young and upcoming singer named Elvis Presley, as seen in an early poll. Episode in the film, The Gump Bed and Breakfast, features a number of travelers, and one of the visitors is none other than Elvis, who watched Forrest dance with his leg braces in the scene. Elvis's voice, which is primarily audible but not visible, remains uncredited. Many individuals believe Kurt should have received credit, but he appears unconcerned given his prior recognition as Elvis in Forrest Gump. The 1979 TV film cast Kurt Russell as Elvis, the King of rock and roll. His role in the movie later earned him an Emmy nomination for his performance. Although he didn't receive credit for voicing Elvis in the Forrest Gump movie, he already got a start to fame prior to the film. As much as Kurt Russell did not get credit for his role in the movie, there was an iconic line in the movie that was improvised. The most iconic line was improvised. Did you know that the iconic line, "My name is Forrest Gump, people call me Forrest Gump," wasn't originally in the script? According to behind-the-scenes information, the line wasn't originally in the screenplay. Tom Hanks came up with it on set in a scene where he introduced himself to Bubba for the first time, and the director, Robert Zemeckis, liked it so much that he decided to keep it in the movie. If you have seen a lot of movies, that line is a homage to the James Bond line. They call me James Bond. Today, we can't imagine the film without the famous line. Did you know there were plans to make a sequel to Forrest Gump? Do you think they were ahead of schedule with the plan? A Forrest Gump sequel. Usually, when a movie achieves critical, cultural, and commercial success, discussions about a sequel are inevitable. Forrest Gump is one of those movies. At one point in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were serious conversations about making a sequel for the Best Picture. Winning 1994 movie based on Winston Groom's 1995 follow-up novel, Gump and Co. The ideas in the proposed sequel were, admittedly, pretty nutty. However, screenwriter Eric Roth turned in the sequel's screenplay on September 11, 2001, which was the day that changed the course of American history forever following a terrorist attack in America. Roth admitted to Yahoo movies that he, along with Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, ultimately felt that the movie had no meaning after such a tragedy. The final item on the list is the secret behind the Medal of Honor scene. How do you think? They pulled it off? Medal of Honor. In the movie, Forrest is receiving a Medal of Honor, which looks pretty real, right? So, how did they do it? Well, the creators used real footage of Sammy Davis, which showed him receiving a medal from President Lyndon B. Johnson. The creators digitally placed Forrest's head on Davis's body to enhance authenticity, following his father's World War II artilleryman assignment to the 4th. Artillery. The real Sammy Davis enlisted in the Army immediately after high school graduation in 1965. After completing his training, he chose to serve in Vietnam. And on November 19, 1968, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded Davis with the Media Award. What other facts about the film do you remember? What are your favorite lines from the film? Thanks for watching. We hope you will join us again in the next one. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comment below. Check out our other uploads if you enjoyed this video.